Hi you guys, welcome back to Wallington Filming. Right, little video on how to spray doors in a new build plot. Now, a lot of painters have been struggling with this in England. Americans got it all sorted over there, I know, but the work different, circumstances are different. Here in England, spraying a door in a new build plot to save time and make more money is very difficult. Hold on, got some in my bit of overspray. Yeah, it's very difficult. The main problem in a new build when spraying the door is keeping the hinges clean. In like 90% of plots in England, you've got to keep the hinges clean because they don't want to pay the money out to put sacrificial hinges on, so you've got to keep them as clean as humanly possible. Even if you're painting the doors by brush and roller, it's near on impossible to keep the hinges clean. But you've got to do your best. So I've just recently bought a Graco Ultramax handheld sprayer, battery operated with the DeWalt batteries. When you buy one of these sprays, it just comes with the 2 AH batteries. I bought a 5 AH. It's about 15 doors in this plot, and I managed to spray them in about an hour or so. I'm not a professional sprayer, I don't do a lot of it, so I am learning. Hopefully I'll pass that over to you, any information that I pick up along the line. I'm using a 412 tip for spraying them. I did get the 112, but it just takes too many up and downs on the door. As far as I'm aware, with the 412, that gives you like an 8-inch band or thereabouts. You will get some overspray on the walls, right? But only minor if you're careful. That's why if you was going to undercoat and put a top coat on, you're better off getting your doors done at an early stage, like after you've done the cutting in. Don't roll the walls. You roll the walls after you finish spraying the doors. As you'll see in the video, I was going to start using a bit of card. I ended up using me wall scraper to protect the hinges, which I found was a lot better because the card tended to touch the wet spray on the doors. With the scraper, it's a dead fine blade, isn't it? So I seem to be all right. I also said I think you don't need to protect the back of this hinge. You do really, so try and protect that as well as you could. If you do manage to get just a little bit of overspray on the hinges, a normal sanding pad will sort that out, or some wipes. I have got a little bit of overspray, but not hardly anything. Just going to whiz around with the pad and clean it off. It does make sense to do it with a spray gun. I did have one before, didn't I? But because I was using it to cut all the plots in, I only got about half a dozen plots with it, sent it back, got my money back, luckily, and I never got another one, so I've seen one of the lads on site get one. Well, not one of these Gracos, he got a cheap one, but yeah, he sort of set me off again. Thanks for that, mate. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, I was actually spraying oil-based undercoat on some doors in a flat not too long ago, and I did 8 doors in about 15-20 minutes maximum. I did the other flat with 8 doors, and with a 9-inch roller and a 3-inch brush, 8 doors took me an hour and a half. So in this particular plot, with about 15 doors I think it is, it would have took me going on for 3 hours, and I did it in less than an hour. Right then guys, so here's a typical example of a door that needs painting in a new build property in England. So the frames have just been primed up with acrylic primer undercoat, and obviously one of the things you've got to bear in mind is in most new builds today, or 90% of them, you've got to keep the hinges clean, which causes a problem when spraying. It doesn't make any financial sense whatsoever in a new build in England to take the doors off, lean them up against the wall and spray them, for the simple reason you've got to get all them hinges off, or unscrew all the hinges from the door, lean them up, spray them, and put the bloody things back on. When it comes to putting them back on, you're probably going to damage the door or something like that. So they've got to be done, they've got to be sprayed whilst they're on the frame. So my plan is put a piece of board underneath the door. When it comes to the hinge, I'm going to just put a board up there and spray from top to bottom, protect the hinge. That's why, as I've primed the frame up, I've primed around the hinge. So I haven't got to worry about cutting the hinge afterwards. Because as I'm spraying, most of that will get covered with a spray again. I just don't want to get no paint on the hinge. Then when it comes to this side of the door, you've got the hinge problem again. So what I'm going to do is the gun in one hand, board in the other, and I'm just going to spray it like that, protecting the hinge as I go up. Well, that's the plan anyway.
Yeah, we'll see.
Just need to point out, when I do the frames, that's why I do the back edge of the door. I've already rolled the top edge in undercoat, and I make sure that edge is done as well. So all the edges have been undercoated, so I don't need to spray that way. Obviously I can't do round the back with the hinges, but I don't want to be spraying that way, because all the overspray is going to just go down there and down there towards the hinges, which I don't want, do I? Right, what I have noticed is when you spray these doors, on this side of the hinge, you're alright not to protect it, because it just goes past the hinge. When you come to this side, you have to protect it. Instead of using a bit of card, I'm using the wall scraper. Seems to do a better job. So let's get on with it. What I tend to do is just spray that top section on the side, like that. That just saves me when I go up there spraying it over onto the wall and ceiling. What I tend to do here is try and get that bit done first. Do the top section, put that down there. Do that like that. Try and get a thicker band down there, which tends to keep the hinges clean. And because I've done that top bit there, I ain't going to whiz it past. Job's done. Finished. Board under the door. Keep it away from the wall. Play the top. I've got it on setting 5 pressure wise. Averaging about 2 doors per foot. Right, I don't know whether you can see these doors getting a bit dark in here now, but there they are finished. Pure white, one coat, job done. Bit hard to see, but yeah, there they are. Lovely jubbly. I tell you what, keep them hinges clean, you're laughing, aren't you? Or relatively clean, you can always go over them with a pad, can't you? But yeah, there they are. Right, before I finish this video off, as a house basher or house painter in England, the idea is to get these plots painted as quick as humanly possible with a good result. One of the biggest things in these plots is doors. Very, very time consuming, very boring. So if you can spray them, it's a big bonus, as long as they're sprayed correctly. Now, masking off round frames, taping hinges off, etc, is just not viable. You've got to try and spray these doors whilst they're fixed to the casings and keep the hinges clean, which is the biggest problem, as I've said through the whole video. You've got to keep them hinges clean. So the way I've done it in this video is the way I think you're going to be able to achieve that. So basically, that's how I think you've got to go about it, lads. I can't see any other way unless you can. Using Vaseline on hinges and shit like that, it's just not going to work. And if you spend time masking up Vaseline, masking up round frames and hinges, you're defeating the object, aren't you? Absolutely defeating the object. So try and get your doors on right without rolling your walls, any overspray, or if you hit the wall, you've got to roll the walls anyway, ain't you? So it's not a big problem. So that's about it, guys. Hope you've enjoyed content of this video. Hope it helps you make a decision whether to go down this route or not. So until next time, from the Candle Man, stay safe, lads. Stay safe. A happy wife is a happy life.
I will see if I can do my left.